You're listening to 91.9 FM WCAL, California, Pennsylvania, and you're watching this on CUTV Sports 1. I'm here with two very special guests, comedian Colin Mochrie, the star of the long-time running show Whose Line Is It Anyway?, and Asad Mecci, a master hypnotist. They are currently on tour for their show HYPROV, Improv Under Hypnosis. It will be at the State Theater in Uniontown on Friday, May 6th. So Colin and Asad, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today. So how's the tour going so far?
It's great. Non-stop.
Yeah, it sounds super exciting. Has it been a lot of fun?
It is a lot of fun. I mean, it's unlike anything you'll probably ever see. Audience members hypnotized. We improvise together. Everything is unexpected. It's hilarious. It is a lot of fun.
What inspired you to combine improv and hypnosis together in a show?
So I was actually studying at the Second City, trying to get better at my craft. I was touring around the world performing for Carnival, Celebrity, and Royal Caribbean. And a lot of the time when we were in class, they would often say, get out of your head. You're too much in your head. And essentially what they meant was stop consciously constructing the comedy. Make it natural. Make it unconscious. And I thought to myself, wait a second, can I hypnotize somebody who, because I saw what the Second City was doing in their training, could I hypnotize somebody who has no experience in improv and turn them into a really great improviser? And the answer's been a resounding yes. I reached out through Colin's website, talked to his manager, and we ended up putting up the show at the Second City, where improv and hypnosis are married together on stage. I'm the master hypnotist on the show. I bring up 20 volunteers, I hypnotize them, pick the best 5 hypnotic subjects, and then Colin enters and then improvises with them. We make an instantaneous improv troupe, and now the rest is history. We've toured the show throughout North America, over 50 cities, and we've played Europe, and we're looking forward to coming and performing for you guys.
That's amazing. And Colin, what was that like for you when you heard from Asad for the first time? Because it sounds like something unique.
Yes, I thought it was an incredibly stupid idea. But what I loved about it was it had never been done before. And I love doing, finding new ways of doing improv. And I love being outside of my comfort zone because I find that's when I have the most fun, and that's usually when the most magic happens. And I thought I really can't be much more out of my comfort zone than improvising with people I've just met. I have no idea who they are, and they're in a hypnotic state. And the show, the journey of the show has just been fascinating. From, we couldn't rehearse it. So the first time we did it was the first time we did it. And it was like, well, let's hope this works. And it did. And we've just sort of been fine tuning it since then. And there really hasn't been that much to do. It's just these improvisers are truly natural improvisers. They just react to everything Asad and I say immediately without any thinking about it. It's just been a lot of fun.
Yeah, that's
to Colin's point, Kaitlyn, actually, the part of the brain that deals with self-reflection becomes disconnected when somebody's hypnotized. So they no longer reflect on their behavior. They just carry out my suggestions. See, first-time improvisers, they'll play to the audience, they'll look nervous, they'll look self-conscious. People who are hypnotized, they just carry out my suggestions without hesitation, without question. It looks normal and natural, much like the guys on Whose Line. So we create improv stars from random audience members. It's pretty wild.
It sounds wild. It sounds so wild and fun and exciting. But Asad, you do start the show with hypnosis. So what is that first part of the show like while you're hypnotizing the audience or the audience members?
So I'm not hypnotizing all the audience members. I don't pick on anybody. We don't use plants. These are just random audience members who have volunteered to participate in the show. From there, after I hypnotize them, I whittle it down to the best 5, and I'm looking for physiological feedback to determine who's a good candidate. So I'm looking for changes in rate, location of respiration, so breathing changes, skin color changes, skin tones changes, lacrimation of the eyes, so the eyes start to tear up, vasodilation, the capillaries in the eyes become engorged. So if I see the physiological feedback that I'm looking for, I'll keep the people on stage. If I don't, I'll remove them from the stage area. Once we get down to the top 5, Colin comes in, improvises with them, and the show is, again, absolutely hysterical.
So, Colin, what is it like for you then improvising with the hypnotized guests? I'm sure that has to be interesting.
Yeah, it's like working with the guys from Who's Line, except these hypnotized people are really good. Um, no, I kid, of course. But what is great about like I'm truly, I think this has really helped my actual improv skills, because when I'm working with the Who's Line guys, we've been together now for like 30 years. So I know them all really well. I know if they're heading in a certain direction, I can sort of tell what joke they're going for. I don't have that with these people. So I really have to go back to the rules of improv, of listening to them and accepting their ideas and just truly living in the moment. And that's what I find exciting. There's no way I can ever predict what these people are doing. And they've come up with things that just amaze me and make me think, I don't think an actual, like a real improviser would have come up with that choice. So it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like so much fun. And Asad, I have another question for you. I've always been curious about this myself, but are there people who are unable to be hypnotized?
So 20% of the population are really good candidates for a hypnosis show. When it comes to clinical hypnosis for smoking and weight loss and stress management and peak performance, the number is much higher. But for a professional stage show, we're looking at about 20% of the population. And the 20% of the population are what we call somnambulists. So you can create positive hallucinations, negative hallucinations, and create amnesia. So example would be, a positive hallucination would be, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I reach the count of 3, for some strange reason, Colin is riding a baby dinosaur on stage. So they'll actually hallucinate Colin riding a baby dinosaur like a horse on stage. The negative hallucination would be, I'm going to count from 1 to 3. When I reach the count of 3, for some odd reason, the Colin has no shoes on. So for some reason, they'll think, wow, why does Colin Mochrie have no shoes on stage? Amnesia on anything is, you can create amnesia on their last name. They won't be able to remember their last name, or they won't be able to remember their phone number, their address. So they're the best hypnotic subjects, and 20% of the population falls into that category. The research indicates that people who are able to dissociate from their surroundings are the best hypnotic subjects. So people who are able to get caught up in a movie, let's say a horror movie, and they get so caught up in what they're watching that they move to a physiological response. Their heart starts to race, their palms get sweaty. Logically, they know what they're watching on the big screen is not real, but for that moment in time, it feels really real. That's a hypnotic trance state. They're the best hypnotic subjects.
So I think from what I'm hearing that I would make a great hypnosis subject, because yeah, but that I've never been hypnotized before. Maybe it's something on my bucket list. We'll see where I stumble one day. But another question I do have for you, Asad, is how does the whole audience not become hypnotized? And has that ever happened while you're trying to hypnotize someone on stage and someone in the audience is in that state as well?
Yeah, it happens very infrequently. I give the suggestion that the suggestions are for the people on stage as well. When my back's toward the audience, I'm also giving nonverbal suggestions to the people on stage. So without giving too much away, the answer is no. People in the audience do not go under hypnosis. People on stage absolutely go under hypnosis if they're part of that 20% of the population.
Okay. And I just have a few more questions for you, Asad. Is being a hypnotist something that you knew you wanted to be at a young age, or when did you discover that?
So I was in my first year of university, and one of my best friends, Ronnie Katz, went away to Hawaii over spring break. There he was sunburned very badly. Now he happened to be traveling with his father and his father's friend, who was a dentist who used hypnosis in his dental practice. So Ronnie was itchy and irritated and uncomfortable because of the sunburn. So this dentist comes in and hypnotizes Ronnie, gives him the suggestion that he's no longer going to feel the burn and the irritation associated with sunburn. And Ronnie said immediately after he was hypnotized, the pain and the irritation associated with sunburn was completely gone. That was the catalyst for me. I was fascinated by the subject from that moment onwards.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. I never really think about like hypnosis in like a medical state like that, but I know that it is really relevant, and that's very interesting. But so what was that first experience like for you when you did hypnotize someone for the first time?
Fascinating, because I didn't really think it was going to work. Oftentimes Colin jokes, whenever I bring up 20 volunteers, in the back of his mind, he's thinking, this is never going to work. But believe it or not, every single show that we've done, we've had some hypnotized volunteers on stage to perform with Colin.
Yeah, has anything ever gone wrong? Like, did you ever have like a worst case scenario happen, or is it always really successful?
No, it's been successful. There's always interesting twists that occur on stage. Colin, do you remember the one where I think there was a proposal bit, right? Something to that effect.
We find that if the scene has an emotional element to it, they're much more receptive to it. So we have this scene where one of them has to propose to me, and it was going very well. He kneeled. He went to put a ring on my finger, and he noticed I already had a ring on my finger because I'm married.
Yeah.
So that threw him, and he got very upset that I had cheated. I hadn't told him about my other marriage. So I had to do some quick thinking and come up with the story about how the ring belonged to my grandfather, and I promised him I would wear it until I found the person. It was great for me because it also gave me a quick lesson on how to lie in case I get caught out.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's so funny that it works like that. That's incredible. But Colin, so when did you first learn that you were meant to be a comedian? Do you remember like a specific time where you knew that that was like something you were interested in?
Oh, sure. I was when I was in high school, I was very shy. I was very quiet. I was an honor student, and a friend dared me to go out for the school play. So I did, and I got my first laugh, and that pretty much changed everything. I can still remember that feeling of going, oh, I want this all the time now. So I was studying sciences at that point, and I switched over to theater and did the long, slow climb to middle stardom.
So if someone was looking to get into improv comedy, how would they pursue that career?
I would check out local improv troupes. They usually have classes of some sort, so take classes. I always say, if there's anything else you can do that you love, do that. But if you just want to do improv just as fun, it's a great skill to have, not only if you're on stage, but it's a great life skill to have. It teaches you to sort of go into situations without any preconceived ideas and just sort of think on your feet and feel comfortable with audiences and crowds, public speaking. So yeah, check out local improv troupes, take classes, and watch people who you think is funny and steal from them. That's what I do.
For sure. And who are some people that you think are funny, Colin? Do you have any comedic influences?
Oh, so many of them that you would right now have to Google because they're all dead. I was a big fan of SCTV and Monty Python. John Cleese was someone that I stole a lot from. When I was growing up, there was like a golden age of comedy with things like the Dick Van Dyke Show and the Andy Griffith Show, Carol Burnett. Anyone who made me laugh, I would sort of watch and say, why am I laughing at them, and what is it they're doing? And some people, it's just they have that thing that you immediately are ready to laugh, and there's other people you can see, oh, they're really working on the character aspect, or they're maybe in a surrealistic sort of thing. So many people growing up I just loved and wanted to do what they did.
Yeah, and I'm sure it has to feel incredible being able to do that now, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'm doing a job that didn't exist when I was growing up. No one I knew said, oh, I'm going to be an improviser when I grew up, because nobody knew what that was. There wasn't anything like that anywhere. So I've been very, very fortunate that I get to do what I love.
Yeah, that is so amazing. And Asad, how does one become a hypnotist if they were interested in doing that?
Yeah, check out some courses with the National Guild of Hypnotists. I think that's a good place to start and go from there.
Yeah. So your show is coming up on Friday. So are you guys looking forward to being in Uniontown, Pennsylvania?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the best things about the show is we get to travel. We've traveled all around the world doing it, and we get to see places we don't get to. And the audiences have just been, especially now after, the last couple of years where everybody was under all these sort of restrictions, the excitement from the audience of just being out and being with people and seeing a show, it's really hard to beat.
Yeah, definitely. And I'm actually from Uniontown. I was born in Uniontown. I went to school in Uniontown. So if you need a local tour guide, you know, you have my contact information now, so you know who to hit up.
Excellent, Kaitlyn. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
of course. So what are some other upcoming stops on your tour that you're really looking forward to?
We're playing Atlantic City. That will be coming up in June. We've got a bunch of other shows booked. If you go to hyprov.com, that's HYPROV.com, check out the tour section. You'll see all of the shows that we have booked.
Yeah, and how does it feel to be able to tour again? Because you guys were touring pre-COVID, right?
Yeah, I think that people really want to laugh right now and people want to have a good time. The crowds have been so receptive. When we were in Oregon, we sold out 2 of our performances. It's been very nice. We've been really well received post-COVID.
Yeah, that's incredible. I know it is definitely, after everything that everyone's been through, it's such a good time to bring people together to smile and to laugh. So it's really cool what you guys are doing. But also, so like I said earlier, graduation is coming up. I'm a senior. I'll be graduating this Saturday along with my graduating class. So do you have any advice for graduating seniors during this time?
Well, I don't want to give you any spoilers. You'll have to find out like we did. The only advice I ever give anyone is always remember life is a marathon. It's not a sprint. When I graduated from theater school, pretty much almost everyone in my class immediately went to acting jobs, and I didn't. It took a little longer for me, but just keep to it. Sometimes you have to be stubborn. Sometimes you're the only person that believes in you, but just keep going ahead. And sometimes those people that do very well in the sprint don't make it to the end of the finish line. So hang in there. Try to be as confident as you can. Surround yourself with a great support system, friends and families, and enjoy life. Enjoy the moments in life.
Yeah, was there anything else you wanted to add to that, Asad?
What Colin said pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. It's like you knew exactly what I needed to hear right now, because
Good.
that is insane. I felt like you were talking right to me. But okay, so with the show coming up so quickly, how can people buy tickets? You did mention hyprov.com, right? Was it .com?
Yes, if you go to our website, hyprov.com, you can buy tickets through the tour section. There'll be links right to Uniontown. And yeah, please come on out, check out the show. It's going to be lots of fun. It's fast-paced, it's action-packed, it's high energy, and you get to get on stage with Colin Mochrie from Whose Line Is It Anyway? You know, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
For sure. Well, I just want to give you guys such a huge thank you again for taking some time out of your busy schedules to talk to me. And if you are watching this, please make sure you make it out to the show on Friday, May 6th at the State Theater. It sounds like such a great time. You've met the hosts, and you will get to see all of the cool things that happen at this show. So go to hyprov.com, check out those tickets, and see what is going to happen at this amazing, fun show. But thank you guys so much again, and thank you everyone for tuning in.
Thank you, Kaitlyn.